everybody. My name is Nicole, and I help women with their digestive disease or disorder by adding holistic and alternative modalities to their wellness routine. Today's video, I wanted to dive further into the book, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. In my previous videos, we delve a little bit into the idea that our thoughts are creating our illness. And we did a few exercises that really highlighted those limiting beliefs and thoughts. This video, go further into those limiting beliefs by looking at some of the thoughts and beliefs that were programmed into our subconscious as children and even up until now. Like I said, in video 1, we discovered that our thoughts about believing we weren't good enough and the lack of love that we were having for ourselves, what was keeping us stuck in these negative patterns. And up until now, those were our thoughts. Up until now. Today in this video, we are going to look further into those limiting beliefs and where they came from. I want you to grab a sheet of paper, and at some point you're going to want to hit pause. You're going to write down on that sheet of paper all the limiting beliefs that have been told to you from as early as you can remember and even up until now. It might be difficult at first to remember all the things. I believe if you start to really process your memory, and this may be just keep a little journal or a portion in your journal open to writing these limiting beliefs down, because I guarantee you're going to come across them, not just now, but maybe even a month, 2 months from now, and you're going to remember another limiting belief that is going to come up and that you're going to want to process. So, keeping a journal. But in the meantime, if you can now, pause the video and start writing down all the negative messages and limiting beliefs that you have heard people say to you. So these can be things that you've heard from your parents, from relatives, from members of your community and your church, from your school, things that you learned from teachers or things that people said to you as teachers that were limiting beliefs. Friends. An example will be, your parents, we don't have enough money for that. Money doesn't grow on trees. There's not enough to go around. Food, money, time, energy, there's not enough. Lack mindset. I'm too sick. You're too sick. You're not tall enough to go be a basketball player. You're not skinny enough to be a model. You're not X, Y, and Z. Don't ever get married. Men will never love you the way that you need to be loved. Women will never love you the way you need to be loved. Women are scandalous. Men are scandalous. All these things, all these limiting beliefs that you were told. You know, movies can program our minds to believe that we aren't enough too. So songs, music, which is kind of what brings me to this point. So in the meantime, pause the video, write down all those limiting beliefs, write them all down, take your time. And while you're doing this, be aware of the feeling that you're feeling inside you. Are they bringing up feelings of shame and guilt and fear and apathy and anger and desire? Are some of these thoughts bringing these feelings up? Are these limiting beliefs that you were told bringing up any of these? Because I'm going to go over this in a minute here. These limiting beliefs need to be removed from your subconscious. They need to be removed. They cannot exist here anymore. These are the thoughts that keep us ill, and these are the thoughts that keep us in an ill, negative, lack mindset. These are the thoughts that keep us vibrating at this level right here and feeling these negative negative thoughts. These are the things that keep us in lower vibrations. And that's where I want to turn your attention to, is this chart here. This is the hertz. So this is like a frequency of vibration. So frequencies are in everything. The frequency, you know, energy is in everything, and energy has a frequency, and there's negative energy and there's positive energy. Even, you know, this board has an energy. I don't know what this board resonates at. Even my note cards have an energy, I guess, because they're written with love and they're written towards you with hopes to help you. I believe that they're hold high frequency energy. My shirt has an energy. The colors sometimes we wear, even though I still find myself wearing a lot of black, you know, they have energy too. This actually chart has an energy color, and purple's up here, and this is red. And then in between, there's kind of a color spectrum in between. But I only had a black marker, so we're just gonna go from there. But to explain this better, these are the frequencies, like I just explained, and all the way up to 700 hertz. And anything below 300, which you can find this varies. I was always taught that it was below 500, but I have been reading other things lately that have said somewhere in the 300 is anything below that is weak, destructive energy. We don't want to be at weak, destructive energy. We want to be at strong, creative energy. So we want to sit anywhere from here above. Now to start out here, we have guilt and shame, which are the lowest vibrations of the lowest frequency of our energetic being, guilt and shame. And then we go to apathy, grief, and fear. This is at about a 50. Guilt and shame is 20. 50 is about right here. We go up, so it kind of teeters in between. And then we have desire, anger, and pride, and that kind of teeters in the 125 range. And then when we start to develop courage and neutrality, that's when we start to embody this strong creative energy at 300 hertz. We move up to reason, accepting, and willingness, which I think is where, if you are resonating with this video and you are starting to see where and acknowledge your limiting beliefs and your feelings, and you start to be able to look at yourself almost from the outside, right? Where you're kind of seeing yourself sitting there with these negative thoughts. And you can see, I think you're at this reason, acceptance, and willingness spot. And this is a spot where you start to really make changes, I believe. And then love and joy and enlightenment and peace. So this, just a quick disclaimer, this is not in Louise Hay's book. This is just something I'm adding to it, just to make you kind of see where you are right now, and you can kind of make that correlation that, you know, these are feelings that you will keep you in that lower vibration and keep you ill and not feeling good. I can honestly say that for me in my life, I have made such drastic changes. By no means am I perfect, but I've made such drastic changes that my Crohn's disease and my digestion has not been affecting me off and on for the last several years. But even just in the last 4 or 5 months, I haven't felt any form of pain where normally I would. I have made a lot of changes, so I can't attribute it to just one thing, but I have been doing a whole plethora of many things holistically and alternatively, and I have been able to not be on my medication in years. And I believe most of it has to do with just where I sit here. Of course, getting here isn't just this work. There's a lot of work that needs to be done with it, but this is a huge starting point. Because when you start to recognize where you've been sitting and how you've been feeling, then you start to create these better thought patterns for yourself. And it feels really good. I can honestly say I have never been healthier or happier in my life. So reason, accepting, willingness, love and joy, and then peace and enlightenment. Again, look this up. I guess you would just want to Google frequency charts. Maybe I can put a link in the description page to one, so you can look it up. We want to be in a higher vibration. So we want to start thinking and learning the things to be thankful for. All right. So with that all being said, we've looked at our limiting beliefs. We've started to recognize some of the things that were said to us and why they were said to us or who said them to us. But the idea isn't to blame. We're not pointing out, oh, we're blaming this and it's their fault. No, self-acceptance is realizing that, that was something we had to go through or that we had to learn in order to now make a change, right? It's never too late. I don't care what age you are. You don't want to be on your deathbed saying, I should have, and we don't want to be there. And so we want to learn self-acceptance and forgiveness. And so we have to forgive the people that did program our minds and led us to these limiting beliefs because they didn't know what they didn't know. And that's a powerful statement because we too have our own. If you have children and you're my age, I'm 43, by the way, I'll be 44 in a few weeks. But if you're my age and you have grown children, or any age you have grown children, you realize like, wow, I said and did a lot that I shouldn't have. That's okay. We didn't know what we didn't know. And our children will know that. Our children will see this in us. I just the other day had this great conversation with my oldest son that I just busted out in tears because part of me, I know better than to feel shame and guilt, but I had to say it out loud to him that, I felt that I wasn't able to give him what I could have given him because I was a young mom, because I was in codependent relationships, because I was ill. I was all these things, but it's now that makes the difference. And having that conversation with him was probably the most healing thing I have ever done in my life. So what we don't want to do is blame anyone else or even ourselves, because that will just keep us feeling below the weak, destructive energy threshold. We don't want to do that. By changing our current thoughts, we start to reshape the future. So thank you for being a part of this video. If you haven't taken the time to write down those limiting beliefs of what those things that you were told as a child and you were told even up until now, please take your time and really have a look at those and start to diffuse them so you can start to live in the now and be in the now and live in the future and start to live at this higher frequency. Thank you.